Hi, this is Bill Dunn, the Mary Catholic. Here's my essay for the week of March 16th. The Gospel reading this Sunday chronicles the amazing miracle when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. This event takes up most of chapter 11 in John's Gospel. And once again, I hope the priest or deacon is not tempted to save a couple of minutes by reading the abridged version instead. Contained within this reading is the shortest verse in the Bible, verse 35. Jesus wept. This verse has rescued countless Sunday school students over the years. Okay, Jimmy, now it's your turn, the teacher would say. Please recite the Bible verse you memorized this week. Jesus wept, the kid would blurt out. That's it? Yep, that's it. That's a whole verse. It's right in the Bible. You can look it up. No thanks, Jimmy. I know it's a whole verse. Next week, please memorize something a little longer. Besides getting Sunday school kids out of a jam, this little verse reveals quite a bit about Jesus' character. We know that Jesus and Lazarus were very close friends. At the beginning of this week's reading, Lazarus' sisters sent word to Jesus saying, "Master, the one you love is ill." There is little in Scripture describing the relationship between Jesus and Lazarus, which reminds us of the very last verse in John's Gospel. Jesus did many other things as well. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that even the whole world would not have room for the books that would be written. Yet more questions to ask the Lord when I get to heaven. Right now, my list has about 34,000 questions, and it keeps growing every day. I'd love to know how Jesus and Lazarus met, what they had in common, what they used to talk about, how often Jesus stayed at his house, etc. I'd also love to know what Lazarus thought about coming back to life from the dead. Did it hurt? Did he get a glimpse of heaven? Did he want to come back? Was he thrilled or disappointed about it? Did he dread looking forward to eventually dying again? Or did he laugh about it, knowing what it would be like? How many more years did he live before dying again? Inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, we can only surmise about the details of Jesus's and Lazarus's friendship, but we do know they were very, very close. So it's understandable that Jesus was emotional and began to weep while standing before Lazarus's grave, especially since he didn't arrive until 4 days after the funeral. But wait a minute. Jesus missed the funeral on purpose. When he first heard of Lazarus's illness, Jesus stayed put for a number of days before starting the journey to Bethany, Lazarus's hometown. More importantly, Jesus knew what he was about to do, bring Lazarus back to life. If anything, he should have been laughing instead of weeping, right? I mean, Jesus knew how this was going to turn out. And yet Jesus wept. Why did he weep? Did he weep out of empathy with Lazarus' sisters, Mary and Martha, who were racked with grief? Did he weep because he was surrounded by unbelief, surrounded by people who were convinced of death's finality and who didn't understand that Jesus' mission on earth was to change that situation? Did he weep because he was face to face with death, the stronghold of Satan, the awful result of sin? If I had to guess, this would be my choice. Whatever the reason for Jesus weeping, despite the fact that he knew the last man was about to walk out of that tomb and everyone's grief would turn to joy, his anguish showed that he possessed the full complement of human emotions. It's easy for us to forget that Jesus had human emotions, especially if we've ever watched some of the Hollywood portrayals of his life. The first gospel movie I ever saw was titled The Greatest Story Ever Told. In it, the actor Max von Sydow played Christ, and he was basically a walking and talking mannequin. He showed no emotion while slowly intoning thee and thou verses from the King James Bible. Everyone else in the movie was alive and animated and real, while Max was somber and sullen and stiff. Because Jesus is divine, it's sometimes hard to appreciate that he was also fully human. He was not somber and sullen and stiff. He really did laugh, he slept, he got sick, he stubbed his toe, he hit his thumb with a hammer, and yes, he even wept. As the letter to the Hebrews says, we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet was without sin. God took on human flesh so that we could better relate to him. The incarnation is a fabulous gift to the world. The vast gulf between the holy God and sinful mankind finally was bridged by the incarnation. Jesus is fully God and fully man. Nowadays, people often focus on one or the other of Jesus' two natures. Some emphasize Jesus' divinity and downplay his humanity. This is the Gnostic view of God. Others emphasize his humanity and downplay his divinity. This is the anti-supernatural bias viewpoint. Please don't lose sight of the awesome reality of Jesus. He is fully God. Through him all things were made, and at the same time he is fully man. Jesus wept. He loves us and cares about us, and he has the power to save us. They don't call it the good news for nothing. Thanks for watching. Please visit my website at marycatholic.com and subscribe to my weekly faith and humor essays. Take care and see you soon. God bless.